Bizarre Brain Comics. Dun 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 dun. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. And this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, I want to take a little look at the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual first issues. But, okay, you know that... before we get into that, I want to mention, my book, Bizarre Brain Comics Anthology, available on Amazon, with some adventure and humor and some gags. Available on Amazon for $7.99. Thanks to everyone out there who has bought my book already. Thank you. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. First appeared in, I guess they did the creating part in 1983. But the first self-published issue was in 1984, and it was actually originally a parody of some of the comic trends. Now, at this time in 1984, 84, ninjas were real popular in comics and in movies. And there was a new resurgence of popularity in funny animal comics, mostly as satire and social commentary, and of course, the X-Men were incredibly popular in comics. Teenage Mutants. So you put all that together. You say, what would be funny? Oh, turtles. So, that's the way it was, you know. And when they first did the doodle, it was kind of as a joke. But it really, really caught on because it was intended to be just a single issue, self-published title. But it did so well, they had to, reprint that first issue several times, and then start doing later issues. Well, this book here is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a graphic novel. The first 3 issues and a couple of stray stories as a graphic novel, published by First Comics in 1986. This particular one is, as I said when I did my little Turtles review of some of my Turtles books a little over a week ago. This was the second printing from 1987. Okay, and we'll be taking a little look here, because remember, this is how they started. Of course, initially, now I got to say this is years and years ago. I liked the Turtles. I had the cartoons and the Archie comics and stuff, and I liked the original ones too. I had several of those. Now, I used to think this is, and I had said that Eastman and Laird were just a couple of hacks who came up with a good idea and made bank on it, and that is neither true nor fair. Especially after rereading this for after decades since I've read it. As reflected in the first issues, they were amateurs just beginning to break into professional status. But I look at it, and some of what I thought was before was bad art, I see is not bad art. It's stylization and technique, and the visual storytelling is done very well, and there's a lot of stylization. Now, of course, these and I think the stories are better crafted than I remembered. And I really enjoyed this, and I think it's a good property. They were younger and just breaking into the field, and they had a good idea, and they ran with it, and they did a good job with it. I think had some solid writing and some solid artwork, and some very good visual storytelling. Of course, not all the stories are as good as others, but now this is a good one because it's the very first, and you really see they of course the turtles initially all looked alike, and the only way you could tell them apart was by their weapons. They initially had all pretty much the same character. And no, other than their names and their weapons, there was little to distinguish them. And they gradually began to develop some individual characters, and especially when it, because they had some good business sense. They published the books, got them out there, and I remember seeing ads. This is for little toys that they had made, little tiny figurines that they had gotten made and were making available for selling, almost like the little figures for some of the role-playing games. And then they got in licensing with the cartoon and the toys, and they just made bank, and they became incredibly popular. And of course, with the development of the animated series, that's when their characters differentiated more. Of course, the different colored bandanas, the initials on their belts, and stuff like that. And also made it more juvenile, because this was not intended to be juvenile. Let me just take a real brief look through here. You can see here, early turtles, real tough. Now these boys, they're not boys. These guys were really influenced by Jack Kirby and a lot of Frank Miller, and he was doing Daredevil at the time, and so they threw some of that in to, you see. So here they are, their first engagement with the Purple Dragons, and when I thought this was, I used to think that was a bad image. Then I look closer. No, so you see they got the rough borders. That's a desired stylization with the borders and the way, because it really is a very decent cityscape, some decent perspective and everything. It just things look a little squashed because they have a bolder, denser line than this, when others would have had some finer stuff. Okay, then of course they're introduced. We see the origin of flashback, origin of Splinter. And so that's a very Kirby type figure right there. But then you have some of this, the visual storytelling is a lot like inspired by the Frank Miller's Daredevil at the time. And of course with Daredevil, we say, okay, has his Splinter's origin, which ties right into the origin of Daredevil. With the ooze, and right here where the kid saves somebody and hit in the head with the weird stuff, then the turtles and Splinter are covered in the ooze, which makes them mutate. And of course, have the Foot Clan. The Daredevil was big into ninjas at that time, and the ninja clan he was up against was the Hand. So here they were the Foot, and his teacher, Daredevil's teacher, was Stick. So Splinter. You see all that. And then the names. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. And then introduces Shredder. They have all their fights, their battles. Double page spread. And good fight story choreography. And then, of course, this is all over revenge. And they have Splinter has become. Shredder has become a criminal mastermind, and of course he is killed at the end. Well, like all good villains, he comes back. And then with the second issue, like that, and you can see the art style develop, because of course it's the two of them working together, so certain things are going to pop out differently at different times. This is what Baxter Stockman and his Mousers pop up. This is when we first introduced to April O'Neil, who is Stockman's assistant, not a news reporter, and the Mousers going out. And this is a longish story of extorting the city, or the buildings will be collapsed. Evil scientist stuff, and actually it's a good story. The way Splinter disappears, and they're afraid the Mousers got him, and they save April and have to save the city by stopping Baxter Stockman, and ultimately they do have a long chase scene, which is inserted, has nothing to do with the main plot, but they finally get through and defeat Baxter Stockman, save April, save the city, and no one knows but April, and they have to stay with April in her apartment, etc., etc. And then it's backed up with a couple of shorter stories, one by Eastman and one by Laird, and you can really see the difference in their respective art styles as presented here, because because instead of working together, they're each doing an individual storyline, and that is very, very neat to see this from today's perspective with the Turtles as they are today, to then see their comic book origin, and it is a very enjoyable read. And I'll have some other Turtles some other time, but this is the beginning of the phenomenon known as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I enjoyed the TV series, especially the CGI one from just a few years ago, and I haven't seen the new movie yet. I liked all the live action movies, even the one where they went back in time to Japan. I liked that one. I know a lot of fans hated that one, but when I went to see the Turtles, the first live action Turtles movie, I was the only adult there without a kid, but it was a lot of fun. I do enjoy the Turtles. Eastman and Laird, I think, get a lot of credit for their creativity and their business sense, even though they've had some personal business problems, and over the decades and have sold the property to someone else. And but it's still a lot of fun. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me, which is your favorite Turtle? Which version of the Turtles do you like best? Like the animated one, the original red bandanas, live action movies, various other series and movies and stuff? Just let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are